Hey guys, you see the title of the video, America is Screwed Up. For the entirety of this channel, I've been talking about escaping America, probably moving to Europe, maybe, some other cheaper locations, but America's getting expensive. And America has a lot of tricks up their sleeves on how to make people spend their money, because that's basically what America is. It's the way America became so successful is to get the people living in it to spend so much. So I thought this would be a nice little video for those who are interested in exploring this idea. For this whole channel, I've been talking about escaping America, and I wanted to show you guys that I'm not the only one with that sentiment. So, let's get right into it with this first video.
So this is a prime example of why Europe is better than the United States. I'm sitting in the Cache in Barcelona, and I just bought a water with gas, or what we know as seltzer. If you say seltzer to anyone outside of the United States, they will have no idea what you're talking about. But I was given this, and you see how there's a red top on there. So I instantly opened it and started taking it off. But then I realized, I think that this plastic piece is a top for your can, so that, watch. Close it, and now I can go mobile. I take a sip of my water, then I can close it, and watch. If I close it, I knock it over.
There's a lot of those tricks that when I was going to Germany, they had a similar thing where for the bottle caps, the cap actually attaches. It stays attached to the bottle, so you never lose the cap. So you could always close that. There's no bottle like that in America. There's so many things in Europe that are way so convenient that, America just decides not to do it. And it's popular over in Europe or European countries. And this is another example, cans in America never have that kind of lid. So you're kind of forced to drink the whole can in one sitting, or else, you might lose the can, it might spill over. And with a cap like this, you could save your can for a long time. But yeah, let's get right back into this video.
Nothing spills. Here's the real test. I'm going to tip it upside down on this Barcelona street, and I'm either going to look like a normal person from Barcelona tipping their can upside down or an idiot. Here we go. The moment of truth. Okay, we have a little bit of... Oh, okay, it's leaking a little bit. But I think that's because I broke that. Otherwise, I think that they have lids for can. But never in the US would you ever see this contraption. We all have to come to Europe.
We all have to come to Europe. I could not agree more. America, I have this theory about America, because you know how our infrastructure is kind of screwed up. There's always repairs being needed, and there's always a need to fix things. And since things are so spread out apart, you need to have a lot of gas in the tank to drive even farther. America is built on people spending money for companies to grow. And I guarantee if a company like this with a can lid like that, if they try to open up here in America, they probably would not be a successful business because, no other, far be it from an American company to make things convenient for Americans. But let's get into the next video right here.
I'm sorry, I have to say it, but living in America is such an empty experience. I am in Croatia right now, and I've been to Europe several times, and every time I come to Europe, I am reminded how empty America is. The way people conduct themselves in Europe, rather than the way it is in America, is night and day, okay? The way women dress here is more modest. The way men are here is more modest in some ways. The lifestyle is more calmer. Things are not as expensive. Things are healthier. The food is healthy. The water is better. The air is better. It smells better. Everything about this place is just so beautiful. And as I'm getting older, I'm realizing in America, all you do is work like a dog. You work from 9 to 5. You don't even have enough time to spend your money because you're paying it on bills. The food on the shelves are just literally killing everybody. Why do you think everybody in America has autoimmune diseases and that doesn't take place in any other country? It's insane. So the more time I'm spending outside of America, the more I'm realizing just how empty it is. America to me is a pretty thing, but when you explore it further, it's just fucking empty on the inside. And tell me I'm wrong.
I cannot tell you you're wrong. America is, when you get the experience of moving out of America and experiencing Europe, even just one time, you immediately see the differences. Even just from straight out the airport, everything just feels more cleaner. The bathrooms feel fresher. Even in like the more poorer countries, when I went to Ukraine, like it just felt like such a greater experience. And then when you have to come back to home to America, it's like it's kind of depressing, you know? It's like, why do I have to be back here? Man, let me go back to where I once was in the joy of the European people. You know, it's a lot more fun. And, you know, I, as a New Yorker, like there are some parts here and there where like, you know, the touristy locations like are kind of feel like, you know, European because, you know, the tourists are from Europe and like Asia and all over the world. But, you know, living in America, I would recommend for people to explore their options. You know, that's what this channel's all been about, exploring your options. You know, you don't have to agree with me, but you know, I want people to know that there's more options out there in the world. And I think this is good seeing videos like this. Videos like this that like, you know, really open your eyes to what's out there. And she's just in Croatia, which, you know, I was looking into Croatia. It's looking like a nice little country, you know, that area, Montenegro. Well, what countries would you guys want to travel to just to feel the sun on your face and the beaches? And yeah, I think that's all I gotta say for this one. Let's see what's next. Here we go.
Our European architecture is 10 times better than America. I'm in Portugal right now and look at this. All the buildings are old. They haven't updated them in 500 years. The ground is all cobblestone and, I don't know, rock. There's live music going.
Yo, this reminds me exactly of when I was in Frankfurt, Germany, because the streets were cobblestone. There were crosses for some reason. I think I even have one of my thumbnails where I'm standing in the one of the crosses of the roads. But yeah, it has beautiful infrastructure in those countries, like Portugal. That's right next to Spain. Yeah, I'm looking into going around that area at some point, but. Yeah, and as I said before, the reason why the infrastructure is that way, and that's why, you know, the buildings last longer in European countries, and that's why, like, you know, the buildings look so old, is because that business model would not work well in America. And also in man, I just had an idea that slipped my mind. I forgot. But there are zoning laws that prevent you from building certain things in New York because the people that are in the higher skyscraper areas, they pay more so buildings don't get built in front of you so they can keep a perfect view of the city. There's like things like that prevent, like, you know, America from growing as great as it can be. But yeah, no. Infrastructure in Europe is beautiful. But yeah, let's get back into this.
There's restaurants in the middle of the street. You don't find this in America. If you got dropped into a random city in America, you would never be able to tell what city you're in because they all look the same. These ugly buildings that are all boxy in the same design. Meanwhile, in Europe, they have this beautiful design, crosses in the middle of the street, the cool roads. It's just amazing, man. Why can't America be like this?
Why can't America be like this? I mean, I just explained before, a lot of zoning laws, and you know, things that break make more money for the people that gotta fix it. So, yeah, no, they don't want things to last long in America. Ooh. Leave a comment what your thoughts on things in America. You know, I may have some European viewers, so let the Americans know also what you think about, you know, life in America. Does it sound great to you? Did you guys want to visit New York at one point? Did my video sort of like deter you guys from it? Let me know. Okay, let's get into the next video.
You're not depressed, you just live in the US. I moved from the US to Europe and I plan on never going back. Living here has been so affordable and stress-free. I even had my baby here. It cost me about $1,300 to give birth here, and I got paid $400 by the state to have a baby here. It's just such a different culture here. Like, people aren't only centered by their work and their job. You get to actually enjoy life and do things on your own time. And
you know, that's the thing with work-life balance. I think that's like a buzzword that has been floating around for a while, work-life balance. And, I've been trying to debate on whether work-life balance is it possible or achievable in America? Is it ideal to have, that work-life balance kind of life? Or do you want to just keep on grinding and make sure you grind at the beginning so you can enjoy life later? It's this idea that I don't completely agree with it, but I don't completely disagree. That's the thing. I like to keep an open mind on some things. So, in Europe, yes, the culture, the lifestyle, the culture, it's more of like a work to live kind of culture, while in America it's live to work. So, I don't want to live to work. That's the thing. That's the thing that deters me from, wanting to keep grinding my whole life. But yeah, let's get back into this.
And I feel like right now is probably the best time to leave the US. And yes, that's everywhere in the world, but it's just so different when you live in a country other than the US. I moved to a tiny country in Europe for the past year, and I am 6 hours ahead of the US. So that means 3 p.m. here is 9 a.m. there. So I have until 3 p.m. every single day to do whatever I want to do. It's been incredible. So if you can, move out of the US and live in another country, because life is just so much simpler elsewhere. The food is better, the air is cleaner, the education is free, the healthcare is free, and you'll have a lot higher quality of life elsewhere other than the US.
Yes, the quality of life is a lot better. I will agree with that part. And, life is important. Health is important. I would 100% take health over wealth. There's this hypothetical that I heard of, because everyone wants to be rich, so, if you could receive, let's say, $1 billion. Let's not hyperbolize it too much. Let's say $100 million. If you were to receive, you could get $100 million to you immediately, like just handed to you straight away. But it was guaranteed that you died like next week. Would you take it? Would you be able to enjoy life enough during that small period of being, rich as hell? Would you take that opportunity, but you could only spend a week left in your life? Yeah, I would not take that 100 mil. I definitely could. I foresee myself, living a better life, not as rich, and just having just a week left in it. But yeah, let's get into, I think this is the last video. Let's see.
All right, tell me why working a corporate job feels like a full-time acting gig. Like, why do we just show up every day pretending that our genuine passion in this lifetime is the growth of the business? And, why do we go into meetings using really sophisticated language just to prove to everyone how smart and polished we are when we know we're not using that language outside of work? Is it just me?
Yeah, corporate life, a lot of it is just make-believe, just pretend you're having a good time. With any 9-to-5 job, everyone knows it, the managers know it. You don't want to be there, but you sort of have to pretend that you do want to be there. It's kind of dystopian in a way. We're very close to that dystopian kind of life, but yeah, 9-to-5 is not it. If you can grind your way out of that kind of life, I 100% behoove you to actually pursue that kind of life. But yeah, I think that was the last video. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think of what you just saw. Do you guys want to move to Europe? Do you want to get out of America to live a better life? I can, in my firsthand experience, say that living in Europe is kind of a, that's the move. Make enough money in America so you can get out of America. That's the new American dream. But yeah, let me know in the comments, and if you like what you see, leave a comment. It's been a while since I did one of these kind of videos. I think it's been over a year since I actually did a React video. Might start doing these more often because it's kind of hard getting out. And this is my first video being inside for a while. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, I'll do more of these. And yeah, if you like more videos like this, look forward to them in the future. And yeah, I think that's it. Have a good day.